Suicide is a topic that is often seen as taboo, although it affects millions of people every year across the country and around the world. Suicide prevention is an important topic that needs more attention. An average of 800,000 people die yearly across the world, according to Doctors McIntosh and Drapeau from SAVE, which is an acronym for Suicide Awareness Voices of Education. Suicide is an issue that can affect anyone, rich or poor, no matter the race, gender, or religion. In order to reduce the number of suicides that happen, as a society, country, and world, we need to look closely at what is causing these actions and how they can be prevented. The first and most important step to addressing suicide is to acknowledge that it is a serious problem and needs immediate attention. The stigma around suicide often prevents people from getting help or talking to anyone about their feelings or thoughts. This can lead to feeling alone, lost, and isolated later down the road. In most cases, suicide is the result of a mental health condition. This can include, but not limited to, anxiety, depression, and bipolar disorder. In order to create a culture and society in which people feel safe, heard, and comfortable talking about mental health, the stigma around suicide needs to be broken down. One way to prevent and reduce suicide is to address these underlying mental health issues that can cause it. This means creating and investing in mental health services, accessible counseling, and making sure resources are available to those who may be struggling. Mental health conditions are treatable, and treatment early on can have a huge impact to reduce the risk of suicide. There are also social and environmental factors that go into suicide and the prevention. Things such as social isolation, poverty, or discrimination can be a factor in someone's attempt or thoughts of suicide. By acknowledging these social and environmental conditions, how these social and environmental conditions can contribute to suicide, there can be a supportive and inclusive environment created. Support is another way to help prevent suicide. Supporting those who have been affected by suicide can make them feel safe, heard, and comfortable. Not only does suicide affect the victim, but it also affects their family, friends, and community. Giving support and the proper resources to those who have been affected can reduce the stigma and promote healing. Being the family member or the friend of someone who may be thinking of committing suicide is a tough spot to be in. Family members can play a crucial part in preventing suicide by being there for their loved ones and creating a safe environment. Being a supportive family member can include listening without judgment, providing advice, emotional support, and encouraging them to seek professional help. Being aware of the warning signs as a family member can also play an important role. Suicide Prevention Resource Center says that warning signs can be talking about wanting to die, looking for the materials to kill oneself, talking about being hopeless, or an increased use of drugs and alcohol. Additionally, families can share the stigma around suicide and mental health by encouraging open communication within the household. Being a supportive family can help someone feel understood, validated, and cared for, which can make a huge difference in suicide prevention. Mental health and suicide are topics that should be talked about in schools and the workforce. Suicide doesn't have an age. It can and does affect all ages, including students and employees. Many students and employees have underlying mental health conditions that can lead to suicide, but also the environment in which they learn and work in. Students can face academic stress, bullying, social isolation, and problems at home with their family that may contribute to their thought of committing suicide. Educating students on suicide and mental health will help to give them the appropriate resources that they need. Along with students, employees face stress from work, long work hours, and lack of work and home life that can which can all contribute to suicide and mental health problems. Bringing up these issues and promoting them within the workplace can create a supportive and inclusive environment where employees will thrive and do their best. Addressing these topics within schools and work communities will not only bring awareness, but will let those who are struggling know they are not alone and that they are cared for. Investing in mental health services and creating accessibility to counseling can help tremendously. According to the National Alliance of Mental Health, nearly half of the 60 million children and adults in the United States go without the treatment they need because of the cost. Investing in more affordable healthcare options and counseling can impact and lower the suicides that happen each year. People will be able to get treatment and the correct diagnosis which can help prevent suicide. Within creating more accessibility, there can be effective research that goes into finding suicide prevention strategies, developing interventions, and understanding a person's individual coping skills and their traits. One of the last needs to create a culture that promotes mental health and well-being is to create a culture that promotes mental health and well-being. This can be done by creating supportive environments that reduce stress, promote self-care and love, and address social and environmental factors. Not only should mental health be acknowledged during Mental Health Awareness Month, which occurs during the month of May, but it should be promoted every single day of the year. Promoting mental health issues and encouraging people to seek help when they need it. At the end of the day, suicide is a complex issue that requires a good approach to address it. We must break down the stigma surrounding suicide, address the social and environmental factors, improve the risk factors, and create a culture that promotes mental health. Advocating for better mental health awareness, investing in mental health services, and promoting support will help those who are in need. Everyone has a role when it comes to suicide prevention. By working together, there can be a world created where suicide is no longer a crisis and people can live a happy, fulfilling lifestyle.